Alright, here's an example of solving a quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. Let's put the quadratic formula over here. Our solutions will look like the opposite of b plus minus a big square root. Underneath there I'll have b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Remember, a is your coefficient to x squared, b is your coefficient to x, c is your constant term. That's if it's in standard form. Part A is, part B is not. We'll just have to do a little bit to part B. Alright, let's go ahead and plug a, b, and c in for into the quadratic equation. Here a is 1, my b is a positive 4, and my c is a negative 8. Alright, so let's plug those in. So the answers look like, right, the opposite of b is a negative 4. Then I have my plus minus. I got a big square root. B squared, 4 squared. Let's just go ahead and put 16 here. Minus 4. My a is 1. My c is a negative 8. It's really important that if your c is negative, make sure you plug a negative 8 in there, because it's really going to mess up your signs underneath there. All divided by 2 times a is 1. Alright, let's clean this up a little. Negative 4 plus minus underneath this square root. If we do all this multiplication first, I'll be subtracting a negative 32. So I'll be adding 32. 32 and 16 is, how much is that? 48? Alright, and divide by 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, let's simplify that radical. Negative 4 plus minus. 48 is not a perfect square. 4 is a factor of it, but there's something bigger. Perfect square. 16. Alright, squared. I'm going to do this off to the side. I'm going to erase it. 48 is 16 times 3. So you can split the square root of 48 up to the square root of 16 times the square root of 3. Everybody knows square root of 16 is 3. I'm sorry, 4. Principal square root, right? So when you simplify square root of 48, we did this in an earlier module, you're going to get 4 radical 3, which we will put right here, and I'm going to need to erase that over there. Alright, let's divide the whole thing by 2. Alright. Okay, so still not done simplifying this. Let's see. Let's divide each one of these by 2. If I take negative 4 and divide it by 2, I'll get a negative 2. Let's put the plus minus in the middle. If I take 4 radical 3 and divide by 2, it's the same as 2 square root 3. Now those are your two answers. One answer is negative 2 plus 2 square root 3. And the second one is negative 2 minus 2 square root 3. Right? Not bad. This one, we had to deal with that square root of 48. A lot of times when you're working with the quadratic formula, this discriminant inside here is not going to be a perfect square. Excuse me, but you'll be able to simplify that. Let's see what happens with part B. Now let's rewrite this one. To put it in standard form, I'll have 3x squared plus 7x. Bring my 5 over, it'll be a negative 5 equals 0. So you can see a is 2, b is 7, c is a negative 5. So let's look at the answers here, what they look like. Negative 7 is the opposite of b. Plus minus, b squared is a 49. Minus 4 times a is 3, c is a negative 5. All of that is divided by 2 times a is 3. Alright, let's deal with the discriminant. Alright, multiplying all this together, 4 times 3 is 12, times a negative 5 is negative 60. If you're subtracting a negative 60, like we're adding 60, so underneath here is like a 109. Right, divide the whole thing by 6. I don't think we can do anything else to that. Alright, 109 you can check. Obviously it's not a perfect square, but it also will not have any factors of it that are perfect squares. So these are your two answers. Don't have to simplify anything there. It is already simplified.